Welcome back, campers. So this week I'm going to be scribing and cutting some trim panels for the rear of the van. This will apply for any panels, so if you're missing anything or you want to make some new ones because your old panels have fallen apart, this same principle will work for everywhere. So as you can see, I've kind of already started with my scribing piece. So I've done this a few different ways in the past. You can use battens and sort of glue them together or try and do it out of cardboard, but I found this way to be one of the most effective ways of doing it. So this is just it's actually some photography backdrop paper that I've had lying around. So I've cut out the panel and then started using, so these are some magnets I just bought off Amazon or eBay, just a pack of 20 sort of neodymium magnets, cost a couple of quid. And this way you can just use them to help stick the piece of trim or the scribing trim to the panel of the van, and then obviously you can start drawing your lines and then cutting them out with scissors. That's how far I've gone. Doing it this way is nice and easy because the paper or sort of card is nice and malleable, and also it means you can start pushing holes through where the trim clips will go, so that you can easily put those holes in and get the alignment right. So what I'll do is I'll do it for this side, and then I'll use this template for the other side as well, and then we'll scribe that onto the actual panel that we've got, cut that out, line it up, and hopefully it should all fit quite nicely. So okay, so the template's now cut. So this is 3mm poplar ply, so it's really flexible. So I'm going to sort of use that to take a punt, because then it'll kind of contour into the trim area, rather than sometimes if you get like the thicker or heavier weight plies, they don't necessarily bend, and then obviously they're being held in by the clips. So and the clips can only do so much work, and the original panels are only like a sort of fiberboard, so you know, a 3mm fiberboard as well, rather than maybe like a 4mm ply or something. So I thought that was probably the best idea. It's relatively cheap for the panels. So for these rear panels, I've got it cut, so it's cut at 100 centimeters or 1000mm wide, and then on the longer panel it's 1300, so that's going to go on the left side where it will go right to the floor. There wasn't quite enough out of a full length of sheet to get the full 1300, so it's 100mm short on the second one, but that's going to be hidden behind the units that run up the side anyway, so that one can afford to be a little bit shorter. So what we'll do is we'll get the template on top of the ply and then start to cut it out. I'm going to use a router for this, the laminate trimmer, just because this is thin and a jigsaw will just flop it about a lot, so I thought the laminate trimmer would be kind of the safest bet for that. Okay, so that's the first cut sort of done, and then I've just put the holes in, so that means it can be lined up, and then use that all as a reference as well. So because this is the longer side, I'm going to use this to line up on the left side, and then check the hole positioning, and hopefully I can put some clips in, and then that'll tell me exactly where it's lined up, if it needs anything else doing to it. Okay, so I'll put some of the invisible trim clips in, just sort of offered it up. A few of the holes are a little bit out of line, so I've just kind of marked them so that when it goes onto the other one, they're a bit better offline. I've just marked a few more points where it could do with trimming, but otherwise I'm really happy with the fit. You know, I can just open up some of these holes, So these clips sit quite big, and especially if it's sitting low, you know, it's kind of hanging on them, it should be fine. And then once the carpet's on, the carpet will just cover up all the sort of rough edges. You know, there's not much you can do with kind of this, but this will be filled with insulation, so once this is all sort of popped in nice and tight, you won't get a huge amount of movement here. Yeah, so I'll finish that up and then put it onto the other one, and then start doing that, and then that's my 2 rear trim panels done. Yeah, so here I'm just going to cut out the drop vent, slam vent slot. Obviously, if you don't have the room for the air to escape, then when you close the doors, potentially you can smash the windows, or it'll just be really hard to close the doors. So you need to add that in, even if you just cover it up with something that lets the air pass through, like the carpet should be fine, or you can you know, open the slot right out. So that's pretty much it. Now it's ready to be carpeted. I don't want to go and put all the trim clips in just yet, just in case some snap, but everything kind of lines up okay. So yeah, next time you'll see them is when they get carpeted, and then when the driver's side one gets done, I'll still have to cut some slots in for some of the electrics to go in there as well, but that's for a later time. And so this is what the panel looks like when it's been carpeted and trimmed. So as you can see, it's got a nice finish. I recommend using a soft hammer or mallet just to bang in those clips, make sure they go in. But I mean, it's got a bit of wobble to it, but you know, the original panels would anyway, so unless you fixed them quite tightly. And then you can see this the seatbelt covering panel there as well, looks really nice. So yeah, hopefully you found this video giving you some tips and tricks. If you like the video, please do subscribe and follow along, and we'll see you in the next one.